Hey, everybody, it's Sean from Beyond the Wheel podcast, and I'm here with Kenny, and we are recording episode 59, the driver's edition, we call it now. And it's been a crazy 2020. We're into the holiday season now. And if the holiday season is anything like the rest of the season, um, I don't have high expectations for the holidays. So I guess we'll see what happens, but it is what it is, I guess, according to Trump. So,
And we are recording this live on our YouTube channel. So if you're listening to the podcast right now on your typical Thursday, Sean and I are recording this just 2 days earlier on Tuesday. So it's right before Thanksgiving. And in my notes here, I have written down, which means that Black Friday is coming up, which Sean and I just realized this morning while talking, and the Cyber Monday deals are coming up. And a couple of our friends of the show are running offers, and we thought we would just highlight a couple of them.
yeah, the first one, Techno RV is having a winter sale, and they have some pretty good deals on tire pressure monitors, GPS units, surge protectors, cell boosters. They're sort of our go-to company for anything techie as far as RVing goes. And what I like about Techno RV is, besides Eric and Tammy being very nice people, is that they're also full-time RVers, and they only sell products that they use. So they've tested them. They know how they work. They know all the tricks to the trade, and so they have a great after the sale help uh, portion of their business, and we have not gone wrong with using that, buying from them. And if you go to our website and in the show notes and click on the link there, it'll take you to this winter sale, and you can see what deals there are, and there are some pretty good deals.
Yeah, and I like what you just said, and this is what I like about Techno RV is the after sale support that you get with them. You can either chat with them online or you can call them and they'll answer the phone. And I think normally you actually talk to Tammy or Eric. I mean, even though they're the owners, they're very involved with the company, and they are friends of ours, and they are uh, just super friendly people, very knowledgeable on what they sell because of what Sean said. And they're just good people. It's a good company. And I also like them because of what Sean always calls RV local. Sean's got this term that he made up that I keep telling him he needs to, I don't know what the word would be, patent or trademark or what, but Sean's got this term called RV local where, you see a lot of times when you're driving through a town or something, it says shop local and shop small business and stuff like that. Sean came up with this term of shop RV local where you buy from other full timers. And I think it's a really cool slogan. And I think it's a really cool idea to buy from other full timers. I think it makes a lot of sense. And Sean, I think you need to trademark this. Somebody's going to eventually steal this shop RV local.
Yeah, and that is our local community, right? Other full-time RVers. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just came to me one day that if that's our community, we should buy from within our community. So
Yeah.
RV local. Yep.
Yeah. I think it's a great way to support the RV community. And I do believe that that RVers are a community. I really feel like we try to take care of each other as much as possible, whether that be on the road or a campsite or in the forums where I can't tell you how many times I've been in a forum looking for answers to a problem that I have. And there's so many people in the forums willing to take the time to answer you, show photos. I've seen people draw up schematics and print them on the forums. Like, really, I mean, it's a really good community. And I really like that shop RV local. I think that's a great term.
And
Another company that Sean and I are good friends with is the Micro Air, and they are doing a Cyber Monday deal. They're doing $50 off their RV. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it wrong, but they're doing $50 off their Easy Touch RV thermostat. It's a mouthful.
which you have.
I installed it about 2 months ago and I love it. Sabrina loves it. I think I said to them, you know what, you're going to make me lazy with this RV thermostat because I can control it from my phone. I don't have to get up anymore. And he said, we're not making you lazy. We're just making things easy. I was like, that's a good comeback.
Yeah.
And a good way to make me feel better about myself. But it's true. Like, so now early in the morning, the nice thing about this thermostat is that you can either program it so that it's warming up in the morning for you. But I don't even do that. I always wake up before Sabrina. I like it cold than Sabrina does, probably by like 15 degrees. So I have it pretty chilly at night after she falls asleep. And then what I do is when I wake up in bed, I grab my phone and I adjust the temperature from bed, just laying in bed. And I just bring it up to 68 degrees. So I won't even tell you how cold I have it for sleeping, but I bring it up to 68 degrees so that she's at least she's not freezing when she gets out of bed. It's very easy to use. It's all touchscreen. It's made our RV. I always say it's like brought our RV into like the 21st century. It's so much nicer than the stock one. There's other benefits that off the top of my head I can't really think about, but it really the control, being able to control it not only just from anywhere in the RV, but we can be away while Belle is maybe back at the RV, and I can change the temperature no matter where we are as long as we have cell signal. So it's not even like Bluetooth where I got to be in proximity of the RV. We could be on the other side of the country and still controlling the temperature back at the RV. It's a really nice product. It works very easy. And it was easy. I installed it myself. Unfortunately, I tried to make a video of the install and I goofed up the video. I goofed up my audio. I tried to do it a second time and I think I forgot to press record or something. It was just... It didn't go well. They're also doing $35 off their Easy Start for their AC units, which is also a great product that you and I both have.
And for everybody that entered our contest a couple months ago or entered for the giveaway that didn't win, now's your chance to get one at a nice discount.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I kind of forgot that we even gave one away, Sean. That's how bad I am about things. My memory, the older I get, the worse my memory is. It's not fun getting old, but my grandfather always said the alternative is worse.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Easy Start's a great product as well for me. So a lot of people like the Easy Start if they're boondocking, I guess, and you're able to start. That's how you use it. You were able to start your AC off of your inverter. I like the Easy Start because it took away that harsh starting sound from your AC. So when we're sleeping in the middle of the night, our AC doesn't have that, I don't know, that bang noise when the compressor would kick on. Now it's a nice, slow, soft, quieter start, and it's not waking us in the middle of the night. Nothing wakes me in the middle of the night, but Sabrina's a very light sleeper, so this was perfect for her. So we don't use it too much. I probably, as it's intended for like the boondockers and dry camping, we just enjoy it because it's so makes the AC unit run so much quieter when turning on and turning off. It's been great.
Yeah, and then our sponsor and supporter of this podcast from the beginning is Battleborn Batteries, and they're having a Black Friday and a Cyber Monday sale.
That is correct. Yeah, and they're doing a blemish. Is that how you would say that? I guess blemish sale.
Yeah.
So I guess that would almost be like a dent sale, I guess, but they're just coming up with a fancy name for it. So if you're looking for a Battleborn battery and you've been shopping or waiting, now would probably be the time to buy. Either this is their very first Black Friday sale, but they've done the Cyber Monday a couple times. They will have employees working all weekend, taking calls for questions, and people online will be able to get questions and stuff or take questions for you and figure out. They're expecting it to be a pretty big deal. I think still Battleborn Batteries has to be, and I don't say this just because they're our sponsor, I still think they're like the hottest name in RV and stuff. I think I see them mentioned all over the place all the time. Like Battleborn Batteries is like a big deal in the RV industry right now. And still, I mean, they were when they came out and they still are. They're great people there. I love every time that we get to talk to them. We're friendly with the owners. The owners are super. All the staff there, really nice people, and it helps too that the product is pretty awesome. I've
Yeah.
had Battleborn batteries in my RV for over 2 years. You've had yours for over 2 years. I mean, it's a great product. The thing I love the most about the Battleborn batteries for me is that it's a no headache type of thing. I don't have to worry about my batteries. I don't have to worry about damaging them because of the battery monitor system that's in them. I can use them and not break them like I did my old lead acid batteries that I broke.
Yeah. And if you do are interested in looking at what they have for sale, if you go to our show notes and click on the link, it'll take you there. And that helps Kenny and I out. And then also, if you call, just mention that you heard about it on the Beyond the Wheel podcast, and that helps us out as well.
Yeah. We'd like to keep our sponsorship with them.
Yeah.
They help us, produce all these shows and bring all this information to you guys. So yeah, if you're talking with Battleborn batteries, let them know that even if you heard it from somebody else first, let them know that you heard it from us, the latest. And talk about Battleborn batteries. You had told me this, and I checked it out. Joe Rogan had Tom Green on. If anybody remembers Tom Green from, like, I guess maybe
we
90s.
might be dating ourselves, Kenny.
Yeah, I think so. He's married. Yeah. He was married to Drew Barrymore, but he just got into van life, and he was on the Joe Rogan show talking about his van build from a company called Boho, which I always feel like we're on top of things, Sean, and I never heard of Boho before.
Yeah, and they're based in Phoenix, Arizona, and they do van builds.
Yeah. And I said to Sean right before we got on, I'm not sure if boho is a play on words. Did they take the word hobo and flip it? So we'll have to do a little bit more research on them and see if maybe that's what boho means. I'm not really sure. But they built them a van and they put solar up there and hooked them up with 4 Battleborn batteries. And I think he'll be pretty good with 4. I have 2, and we don't have any issues at all. I can't even imagine what he's running that he needs 4 of them, but.
Yeah, but he's doing like us and doing YouTube, producing music, producing a podcast, all from within this van. And I went on his, typically, a lot of, I'm going to stereotype a little bit here, a lot of the van life stuff that you see on Instagram and YouTube, it's like scantily clad women usually in a lot of these videos. I guess that's just to draw more viewers. But I checked out his YouTube channel after I heard about his van and the Battleborn batteries and stuff. And so I checked out his YouTube channel, and it's really great. I mean, the traditional van life videos don't compare to this. It's like an apples and oranges comparison. It's just him and his dog, and he does a lot of drone footage and really shows the solitude that you can get in van life. So it's a pretty good YouTube channel, actually.
I'll have to check it out myself. I listened to the interview with him on Joe Rogan, but I haven't checked out his YouTube. I did check out Tom Green's Instagram though, and you mentioned scantily dressed. He was shirtless in the photo that the first photo I happened to click on, he wasn't wearing a shirt, Sean. So he's playing the game too.
Okay. I'm sure his 50-year-old body is probably not the same as these other van life photos I've seen.
Probably not. Be kind of scary if it was, but
yeah,
you never know with Tom Green.
Yeah, so go check out what Battleborn has on sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's good stuff this weekend. But yeah, and check out that episode with Joe Rogan and Tom Green, because I think it's kind of interesting to hear Tom Green's spin on van life, because he's so fresh to it, so new to it. He just started all of this. So he's talking about, I thought it was kind of funny. He said that he's got a fishing rod and he's got a shotgun and he's gone hunting and he's gone fishing and he hasn't caught anything yet or shot anything yet.
Yeah.
So, but he also says that he went hunting with the intent not to shoot anything. So that's a strange type of hunting. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. And also he talks about some of the challenges, like his outdoor shower and things like that. So it's pretty cool to listen to somebody that's brand new.
Yeah.
sort of just feeling their way through it. He talked about getting stuck his first night out in the sand.
Luckily,
So,
I think he said maybe less than 50 yards or 100 yards from the road. So he was able to just use regular AAA.
yeah.
He got lucky on that one, I think. Because
Yeah.
it's not a 4-wheel drive vehicle. It's not a 4-wheel drive van. He's on a ProMaster front wheel drive.
Right.
It's not really set up for off-roading, but he has been taking it so he's doing a lot of BLM land, and his goal is to get as far or as deep in the woods and as far and deep into like BLM land. So he talks about BLM land and things like that, which is all new to him. And so I really did enjoy the aspect or the point of view of somebody just getting into this lifestyle and learning about full-time RVing and stuff like that. I don't know if I picked up on the reason why he decided. I know he was talking about COVID and that he had cancer, and he's definitely concerned with getting COVID, and he is trying to social distance. But I mean, to go out literally in the middle, no, you don't really need to do all that. So I'm not sure if the two playing a part with each other. Like, I'm not really sure if that's his purpose of the van and getting away from, I mean, is he trying to get away from everybody, or is he, or was it just something that was interesting to him, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. I'll have to check out some of his YouTube videos, because he was talking about, and maybe you would know better than me, he was talking about he needed a lot of power in his van for the amps that he is using for the podcasting. Do you know what type of amps he's talking? Do we use any amps? I don't even know.
No, we run it all through the computer, but he has quite an elaborate setup in his van.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
when I see it on the video, some of his videos.
All right, I'll have to check it out, because when he mentioned that he was using amps, I was thinking like of what is it, like ham radio type of stuff, where he was maybe broadcasting not on internet, but he was maybe broadcasting just over the air.
And I think also he's using it to record music. So
see, that part would make sense then, if that part I know, for amps with music and stuff like that. But
yeah.
So that's some of the Black Friday sales, the Cyber Monday stuff to look forward to. Of course, if you guys are interested in any of those products that we just mentioned, Sean and I are more than happy to answer a question. You can get a hold of us by emailing us here at Beyond the Wheel Podcast, either Kenny at beyondthewheelpodcast.com or Sean at beyondthewheelpodcast.com. And you can also get a hold of us through our other channels as well, Moving Forward Adventures and Chicory's Travels. And Sean and I are super nice guys. I'm going to pat us on the back here and say that we will take the time to answer any questions that you have.
And we'll be honest about it too.
And we'll be honest about it. Yeah. In fact, that brings me right to something with Battleborn Batteries. Talk about being honest with it. Battleborn Batteries just released a heated battery. And I did a little quick research this morning about the heated battery. And how can I say this properly, I guess? In my opinion, as a full-timer, I have my Battleborn batteries in open air underneath my stairwell. I have never felt like I needed a heating element. But then I started thinking, well, I guess there's people out there that maybe do more extreme temperatures than I do. I mean, the coldest I've been in is 15 degrees, which I think is pretty cold. And again, 15 degrees, no issues with our batteries. But that's like the low for the night is 15 degrees. So maybe if the highs were 15 degrees, or maybe if the highs were 20 degrees, I think even at 20 degrees, these batteries are okay. And for a long period of time, maybe then it becomes an issue. And like I said, we've been in areas that the high is 25, but the lows are 15, and we've never had a problem. So
yeah, I think we've been in 18 degrees, but it wasn't for an extended period of time.
And I guess that's where the difference comes in. For me, if I needed to, I could always move our batteries to a compartment in our RV to keep them warm. I don't know. It must be for people that are more extreme than I am.
Yeah, me too.
Or if it's going to be peace of mind.
Yeah, if it's going to be 18 degrees for an extended period, I'm leaving. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I don't always have that option because of Sabrina's work.
But yeah.
We have been, but even then, like the coldest we've been in is like Fort Wayne or Indiana. Well, that isn't Fort Wayne, or Erie, Pennsylvania, I meant to say. And but we've been there in like November where like it's 10 degrees for the low, but it gets up to 22, 25 during the day and stuff like that. But what I do like about the heated Battleborn battery is that it is all internal. You wire it up. There is like a special connection, I guess, that you plug into it. But then it's done. So they did make it nice that if the temperature drops too cold, it automatically turns this heater on and off. It doesn't sound like you have to do anything special. You're still just dropping it. It takes up the same amount of space as the older model did. So you're dropping it. It's still, to me anyway, just a direct replacement type of system, which is, I do appreciate that part of it.
Yeah.
Is that I could put it in here and not worry about it. I believe if you wanted the heated battery, it's $1,050. I'm sure this weekend, maybe with their sale going on, you could get it for a better deal. And what is the standard is $950, Sean. So it's
nine.
So it's
nine
about $100 charge to have it have the heating system built into the battery. But like I said, it is nice that it's built into the battery. I've heard people talking about maybe wrapping batteries and stuff like that. So it's nice that it's all in the unit itself. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's, some, like you said, even for peace of mind.
I think it's a peace of mind thing for people that maybe are not sure of where, if you're going to be in Colorado, I guess, all winter, you'll need something like that. I'm not trying to do that. Some of the things that were happening out in the news the last couple of weeks, or since we last talked to you, was that Winnebago had their launch, their 20. I guess this would be considered 20. I should know because I was part of it, but I think it's the 2021 launch.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think so. Yeah.
And they introduced a couple of new features and vehicles, and the two that really caught my eye was the Echo Class C and the return of the Journey, which is a diesel pusher. So the Echo
is my favorite.
Yeah, I really like that Echo. So the things that I liked about that Echo, and it might be the same things that you like, that it is no wider than a van. It's got dually wheels, so it's got like the extra cargo capacity. It's got a 50-gallon water tank, which is really large. It's for a van. I don't know if it's the largest that a van. I think it's the largest water capacity for a van for Winnebago anyway. It sounds like a lot to me. It's all-wheel drive, and it's taller inside than a Torado. And if that's not enough, my biggest takeaway from it would probably be that it has an actual full shower, not a wet bath in it.
Right. Yeah. And the thing I liked is that it's not really a Class C and it's not really a Class B.
Yeah.
It's like a C minus.
Yeah.
But it's perfect for solo travelers, I think, or if it's just a couple.
Yeah.
It seems a lot more spacious than a van, but easier to find spots for than a full Class C.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You'll be able to park this anywhere. I don't think it would fit through like maybe a drive-through because it is a little taller. I wouldn't want to risk it, but it's going to park at least in a normal size parking space. And it's got like a clever design too for that bathroom, how that shower door, it's like got a sink on the outside and then you open it and behind the sink is the shower. That's Russ. So Russ Garfin over at Winnebago, he's a good guy, but he is like the product manager for the Travato and the Vita and like he comes up with all these cool innovative ideas. He's behind getting the Volta system in their vans and having the off-grid capability. So he's always trying to look ahead, I think. So I think this Echo will be something that other manufacturers probably look at and study and be like, oh yeah, look at this Class C that's really the size of a B and it has a garage in the back for bikes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The garage is another nice thing, climate controlled for your outdoor gear.
Yeah.
And the holding tanks, like you said, the holding tanks are huge for a vehicle that size.
Yeah, and the plumbing's all inside, so for cold weather and stuff like that. Russ really does a great job of trying to think of everything. I got to give it to Russ. And he's a nice guy. We've tried to have Russ on the show, actually. I'm kind of, now that we're bringing him up, I don't have to talk trash about him for a second. He was supposed to come on the show early on when we first started. We sent him the invite and we had questions for him. He reviewed the question, likes the questions, and then he disappeared. I might have to try to talk to him again and maybe bring him on for the Echo and talk about the Echo. No promises, folks, because apparently I do know Russ is crazy busy. So I will say that. I know he's crazy busy, but I would like to get him on and maybe talk about the Echo a little bit. And
it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
It's not a cheap vehicle at all. Like 163. I was talking about this with somebody else. I'm curious to see. So Winnebago has it listed for 163, 165, somewhere around there. And I think what bumps that price up so high is that all-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably figured nobody else has something like this right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure that plays a little bit of a factor, but I think it's that all-wheel drive system that really bumps the price. I'm curious to see what they actually sell for when they hit the lots, because when they came out with that Revel, I remember, and the price tag on the Revel was very high. But then when they went to the dealer lots, they were selling for even more because the demand was so great for the Revel because it was an off-road. That all-wheel drive, I think, really, I don't know, it's very desirable. Again, for people that are more extreme than I am.
Yeah, definitely.
But that all-wheel drive, I could see that being really useful, not just to go off-road, but I mean, just normal bad weather, heavy rains, maybe, snow, taking it skiing. I mean, I think that's what this thing is made for. So it's got the garage. You can go mountain biking with it and stuff like that. So the all-wheel drive makes sense in a vehicle like this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think it also standard with lithium.
Yeah.
So that adds a little bit to the cost too.
Yeah, is it Xantrex? Who's making their...
I'm not sure.
I don't think it's not Battleborn, and I don't think it's Volta. I think it's somebody else.
Yeah,
I think maybe
somebody else for sure. Yeah, but
maybe Xantrex. Maybe. Yeah, don't quote us on that one. But yeah, I think that vehicle is pretty cool. And now I'm thinking
about
the
Journey.
I get Russ on.
Yeah, the Journey. I thought it was going to be higher MSRP than it was because it looks so fancy inside.
I thought the same thing, Sean. Yeah, refresh my memory. I mean, when we say the number, it is expensive. Don't get us wrong.
Well, I expected it to be close to 500,000.
Me too.
But I think it was 360, somewhere around there.
I thought it was 360 something, which is a lot. I mean, that's a ton of money for an RV. I know there's $1 million RVs out there, and this looks rich. I think inside and out.
If you like motor coach travel, this fits in with all those styles of RV, the big motor coaches.
And the thing with this is this new Journey is that it's a Class A with bus-like features, I guess, with the mirrors coming off the roof and down. The chassis is brought lower to the ground, giving you more clearance in your underbay storages with like these slide out trays. These are the tallest storage bays I've ever seen in an RV, like underneath a Class A like this. And it's because they made it more like a bus style chassis. So
it's a Freightliner chassis, right?
Yeah, I believe it's Freightliner, something like 1,100 pounds of torque. I think it'd do great down a quarter mile empty. I don't know. That's the first thing I thought when I heard the amount of torque that it had, because my old Mustang was 400 horse and 400 torque, and that thing was fun down a quarter mile. But 1,100 pounds of torque, I know it's a much heavier vehicle, but it's still got to take off.
Yeah, I bet you can't squeal the tires with that.
Oh, I could figure out a way. But it had really nice features inside. The fireplace. It had a very rich look to the inside without it being gaudy, which is what I liked. I would say the one thing I didn't care for too much is, and it's just I guess a personal taste. When I look at the front of it, I don't know why, but it looks like something's missing to me. Like, but I don't know what it is, and it's an aesthetic thing. I think maybe I really like I have Winnebago. I really like my Winnebago, and I like that it's really easy to see Winnebago going across the front. I don't think it's as easy to see it on that. I think maybe they should bring that the label, the Winnebago label, maybe down into that silver area. If you've seen the front of it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It has like that silver band going across the front. I think I would, I mean, like I said, that's a little tiny detail, I guess.
But
I
they
think the
did
Winnebago would
design
look good
it.
there.
They did design it and do a lot of after manufacturer testing to keep it as quiet as possible.
Yeah.
So I think that front end design was part of that, trying to
Purpose.
keep it, as quiet as possible inside the RV.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really nice. If you guys didn't check it out or didn't see the launch, go check out the launch. And I think I appear in the launch somewhere within the first 10 minutes. I talk about just being part of the Winnebago family and living in our Class A and why we bought Winnebago. So it was really nice that they asked me to be part of it. And I always say yes to everything that Winnebago asks of me.
And the Fit RV already did a good tour of the new Echo. So
yeah, well, they bought one. So
yeah,
I don't think that's the one that they're touring. I don't think is theirs. I think theirs is on order, and then they'll be getting theirs. I guess when it actually gets into production and stuff like that. I think the one that they tour is a demo version.
okay.
So I don't even think it was like all fit and finished type of thing, but it was done enough that they could do a tour and show you. Another product launch that Sean and I watched, I don't know how long ago this was, but was Newmar.
Yeah, a few
And
weeks.
it's a little while ago, I guess,
Yeah.
was the Newmar one. And Newmar came out with and I'm very curious. I hope that we get comments on this one. Is that Newmar has come up with a front end Class A diesel, and it's the only front end diesel. Some people call them poolers, some call them Freds. So at one time, these used to be on the market, and then they disappeared. Newmar has brought it back. So currently, I should say that they are the only ones with a front end diesel Class A. Yes, you can buy an older model one, but I feel like it was over 10 years ago since the last one was built or something like that. And Sean and I were talking about this, and we we're trying to understand what the advantages of having a diesel in the front would be. And the only thing that I could come up with, Sean might have something else, is that the way that Newmar's using this allowed them to put this Class A into the toy hauler category. So they were able to make it a toy hauler and have the garage in the rear because the engine's not there. So it's got a 6.7 liter Cummins engine up front. It's got the 30,000 weight capacity with a toy hauler. But other than that, Sean, do you have any idea of any other advantages of having the diesel up front? Because like I said, 10 years ago, they were out and about. They weren't toy haulers then.
Yeah, I could only think of negatives. So
Yeah.
being more noisy, you have a lot more. I guess they must redistribute things on the chassis so that it's better balanced than it probably would otherwise be. But yeah, that's the only advantage I could think of, is that you could have a toy hauler version with that engine in the front. But I would imagine driving that thing, you got to be catching some serious engine noise when you're driving.
Yeah, I would think so too. And that was my internal battle. I'm like, okay, if I was in the market for a new RV, I love Class A, so my next RV is going to be a Class A again. And my choice was, now I have three choices for a Class A as far as powertrain goes, in a sense. So I got a Class A gas engine up front, Class A diesel in the front, or Class A diesel in the rear. I don't even think, personally, I don't think I would look at the Class A diesel up front, because I'm like, if I want a diesel, I want it in the rear where I get the benefits of a quieter ride because the engine's not. So I don't know. I know. I think it's Thor makes something called the Outlaw, which is a Class A gas.
Yeah, that's a gas
toy hauler.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still make it. Maybe it's not around anymore.
I
don't
see
know.
them. I don't know.
I still see them, so I don't know if maybe they stopped making them. Yeah, I would like to see people's comments on somebody must know the advantages of having that diesel up front. I don't know.
And Kenny's working on trying to get somebody on from Newmar to talk about it.
Yeah, well, if they hear us, they might say, "Oh no, we don't want to talk to them about it." But no, I would like somebody from Newmar to come on and talk about why. I'm really curious. Why did you guys think this was the time to bring back a Fred, the front end diesel? I do want to hear from Newmar about it. I think it looks very nice. It's a Canyon Star. It's got a nice interior. I think the toy hauler part does make sense to me. I do like toy haulers. So
the Canyon Star, though, that's not a new name, I don't think. Right? They've had the Canyon Star, just not a front end diesel.
They do. Yeah, they have the Canyon Star gas. And they're keeping that as far as no. Ugh. Now I'm not sure, Sean.
Yeah.
Now I can't remember if they're keeping both and you'll have a choice of the diesel or gas, or if they're dropping the gas Canyon Star. Yeah.
And I just have to interrupt real quick and say we got our first live comments.
Oh, okay.
From Shakar,
oh.
who is a regular listener of the podcast. So thank you, Shakar. And I'm sorry you didn't think the Echo was groundbreaking, as groundbreaking as Kenny and I did.
Come on, Shakar. I really like that.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Sabrina and I said if we were part-timers, that would be the vehicle that we would use for weekend getaways and trips like that. We really liked it. And he has, I don't understand why or how RV companies haven't formed a joint venture with the auto manufacturers to develop something on par with a modern GMC motorhome that has attributes for commercial. Shakar talks over my head. I'm not really sure. Let's see.
When he mentioned modern GMC motorhome, I always think of that the movie Stripes, where they have the urban assault vehicle. Yeah. I think that was a GMC, maybe.
I think that was a GMC.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shakar, I'm going to have to think about your question a little bit off air. I'll tell you, it's tough to think of things online or like while you're live.
Yeah. And then our next topic, you did this amazing fix on your RV that completely changed the drivability.
Yeah. I don't know if you could say that I made this amazing fix because I just read about it online. Actually, somebody that watches our YouTube channel wrote to me and asked if I've ever done it's called the cheap handling fix. So I don't know how amazing you can get for cheap, but it is actually. You're right, Sean. It is an amazing fix. But he asked if I had ever done it to our RV. And it's kind of funny that when he mentioned, I was like, man, I forgot all about that cheap handling fix. Because when Sabrina and I were shopping for a Class A motorhome, I remember people talking about it in the forums. And then we bought our motorhome and I kind of forgot all about it. I had put a Safety Plus bar on our RV. And that kind of tightened up the front and kept us straight, which isn't really the purpose of the Safety Plus bar. The Safety Plus bar is really for a front end tire blowout. If you would have a front end tire blowout, it helps you keep your steering wheel straight and slowly pull over to the side of the road. Gives you some time to move over instead of like dropping your front end and yanking you right off the road. Yeah. But the side benefits of that is that, it has one purpose, and that's to keep you straight. So even when there's no tire blowout, it's still trying to keep you straight. So I did put that in our RV and I was like, man, this is great. What a big difference this was. And then this person Chip wrote to us and said, hey, did you ever do this cheap handling fix? I said, yeah, I kind of forgot about it. Let me go under there and I'll see if I can do it myself first, because I'm not taking it anywhere. We got 75,000 miles on our RV. I'm not really trying to drop money into it now. I mean, 75,000 miles later, I've been missing out all this time apparently. But yeah. So I went under here and I adjusted the front sway bar, and that's all it is. It's just a front sway bar adjustment. You have two control arms that come down on either side of your sway bar, and the control bar in the stock position is attached to the far end of the sway bar. And all I'm doing, and there's holes that are in these inner holes, and all I did was loosen them from the outer holes and move them to the inner holes. And that was it. It took about 35, 40 minutes. And I said, oh, I don't think that it's such a small little increment. I can't imagine this is going to do much. Well, I put the tools away, stepped inside the RV and felt a difference right away, because just from stepping onto our steps to walk inside, I could feel a difference in the way the RV did not rock or lean towards me. I'm 230 pounds. And normally when I step on my steps, the RV rocks a little bit when I step in, and it didn't do it. It stayed perfectly flat. And that's the purpose of the sway bar, is to keep you upright while going around corners. It takes away that sway or that roll. I didn't think about it making a difference while we were parked and removing the sway out of RV. I mean, this is even with the jacks down. We still always had that roll of walking around the RV. So that was the first impression right there. I was like, wow, this was worth it. Just parked here at the campground. I'm not rocking the RV all over the place. And then we took it for a drive. Well, we took it on a trip. We didn't really take it for a drive. And it was like a night and day difference. I would say not so much going straight down the road, but when it's time to get on and off ramps, you don't have that body roll. So like when you're about to get off a ramp, you're doing 45 miles an hour, you turn the wheel to the right. Before this fix, the body kind of wanted to stay to the left. And it gives you this little bit of an uneasy feel. It also, over time from the body roll is fatiguing, especially on long drives. And it took all that body roll out of it. So then we arrived at our campground and I said, you know what, that's an amazing difference. But I wonder if by only doing the front sway bar and not the rear, am I putting a lot of pressure on the front sway bar with no help now from the rear. So I adjusted the rear and I can say, I don't notice any more difference. It feels the same as just doing the front, but now at least I feel as if the rear sway bar is at least in tune with the front sway bar and they are working together instead of putting all that load on just the front. I see plenty of people in the forums. They have only done the front with no issues. So I'm not going to say that you're going to have a problem. I just know that Sabrina and I are not easy on our RV, that we use and abuse our RV like crazy. And I just thought it was the smart move for us would be to do both front and rear.
And how many inches apart were those holes?
2 to 3.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, really, I'm telling you, Sean, when I was under there and I looked at it, I was like, I can't imagine this is going to do much. I don't see how it could do much because the increment is just too small. I don't know. But I was wrong. It made a huge difference. So I know it makes a big difference when Sabrina can tell from the passenger seat or when she's walking around the RV. When she came home that day and she said, oh, it feels like we're not on wheels anymore. It feels like we're planted on like a concrete, almost like we would just drop this thing right on a pad and took the wheels off or something. So, and then in the driving too, it's a little more steady for her. So she does a lot of work up front while we're driving. She catches up on emails and talks to the hospitals and stuff like that. So it's easier on her motion. She gets motion sick very easy. So this helps her concentrate on work a little bit more. She can read emails a little bit longer. She can watch a movie if she wants and not get motion sick.
So we just got a question about Battleborn batteries, Kenny, and it says, it's from Terry. He said, he has an Arctic Fox 295T, way to go, fellow Arctic Foxer. Yeah. We have the 275L. And he said he was told that installing them in the battery trays would damage the batteries and invalidate the warranty. Is this true? And I have not heard that. I have my batteries. I actually moved mine from the battery trays where they originally were in the Arctic Fox and put them in the front storage bay under the fifth wheel part because I wanted short wiring between my batteries and my inverter and my solar charge controller. So I just moved everything there. And it didn't damage the batteries at all. I originally had them in those trays. I I can't think of any way that that would cause any damage because they truly are drop-in replacements.
When you say a tray, Sean, in your Arctic Fox, where are they normally? Like, where's the tray located?
So the tray is on the, I guess, the driver's side in the front, near the very front of the RV,
Hmm.
and on the side. And it has, mine had two slide out trays.
Oh, okay.
And they weren't, I guess they originally didn't, they had them there. They designed it there because there's ventilation.
Oh, okay.
And with the lead acids, they
Lead
have to be
acid needs to
vented.
breathe. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Battleborn lithiums don't need that. So I was able to move them to the front storage area, and it's worked out fine. And I don't think it would invalidate anything. They're just drop-in replacement batteries.
Yeah.
So even if you didn't upgrade anything else, like you originally just dropped in the batteries and they were fine.
Yeah, they're still in the same spot. They're still underneath my stairwell, which is an open air where the old lead acid batteries are. So that's kind of sounds like a similar thing, except for in your fifth wheel when you say a tray. I don't really have a tray that slides open or closed or anything like that. But yeah, mine are just underneath our steps in open air. It's never been an issue. I don't think Battleborn has any problem with me putting them there. And I also think too that all the people that use the Battleborn batteries in boating and fishing and stuff, they have theirs in their boats where they're getting splashed. They're sealed, so that they're water resistant. I guess. I don't think it matters where you put your Battleborn batteries.
And he said he moved his to where the water heater was. And in the Arctic Fox, that's a great spot if it's designed the same as mine, because you have a short run to the electrical panel.
Oh, okay.
And there's room there where that water heater is for the batteries. I think that's a great spot. But what I'm doing, Terry, is I have plans for that old battery, the two old battery trays where that compartment is. I think I'm going to seal that up, get my son to come out and weld all those open areas closed. And then I'm going to use it as like a tool storage area. Just keep all my tools in that one compartment. Take the sliding trays out maybe, and just make it like a toolbox.
So you still have your trays there then?
Right now they're still there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of any reason. I hate to talk for the company or anything like that, but honestly, I can't imagine that you would put your batteries anywhere and they would be like, "Oh, we wish you didn't put your batteries there." I don't know. I can't see that happening.
Yeah,
I can't see that happening. Shakur was mentioning the Cybertruck when it was first released. They showed a travel trailer. I think the travel trailer was all electric, and had Elon did a cryptic tweet, maybe. I don't know.
that he was going to sell everything.
Yeah, I think that would be the direction that the RV industry is going in. I know they're trying to get away from generators and things like that. So replacing generators with all battery. I mean, that's kind of what you did with your Arctic Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would imagine that. I would imagine not just the generators, but probably propane too, and making the thing all electric with all electric heating system. I don't see that as being too far out of the question.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we will see that. And I think we'll see it probably sooner than we think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to. I like all electric stuff. Fan of Tesla and Elon Musk, and I'm a fan. Sabrina and I have had a hybrid vehicle since 2009, so we've always been a fan of electric motors and the torque that they provide. I know everybody always talks about like a hybrid because of the fuel mileage. I've always enjoyed our hybrid cars because of the torque they provided. Same thing with like a Tesla. I don't know if anybody's ever been in a Tesla. The thing takes off like a rocket. It's a better I feel like it's a better performing vehicle, and that's what I like about it. I know people are scared about range, but the batteries, Battleborn batteries, everybody that's working on these batteries are, they're getting better. Solar is getting better, and things are becoming more energy efficient. We talked about not too long ago about the Medic and their compressor refrigerators and just how little of a draw they take. Compare that to, 3-4 years ago, when your only option, if you didn't want propane, was the residential refrigerator that had a large draw. 10 to 12 amps or something like that.
17.8 mine was.
Yeah, that's a ton when you compare that to the new compressor fridges that use under 2 amps.
Yeah.
So, not only is battery capacity getting better, solar getting better, but items are using less power and becoming more efficient. We are going to be in all electric vehicles in no time.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I think I get scuffed at every time I mention this on my own channel about, an all electric RV. Winnebago has one. They have it right now. You can buy it for commercial use. It's not for residential or not for consumer purposes, but I don't think it will be long. I think the ranges are getting better. You see more charge stations all over the place. I would love to rent a Tesla and drive it across the country just to see how easy, how difficult it would be. And I always thought my idea would be, and KOAs are already set up for this. If you have a travel trailer and a truck that was all electric, well, I should say not just KOAs, any campground. I just happen to like KOAs, but you drive 200-300 miles in a day, and then you stop at a campground, you plug it in anyway. So now you're recharging it. You're already at the campground. You're plugged in. Now you're recharging. You're there for a day. Maybe you're there for 2 days. Who knows? But it'll charge overnight anyway. And then you drive another 200-300 miles the next day. I think camping already has the infrastructure to make such a vehicle plausible. But I also thought, if I would ever to rent a Tesla and drive across country, I would stop at the KOAs or the other campgrounds that have cabins, plug it in, and then go sleep in the cabin overnight and continue on my trip, and then do the quick charges and anywhere else that I need to. I think it'd be a fun trip.
Or just take a tent, throw a tent in the trunk, and you could do that too.
Well, you could. I don't do tent camping. I am not a camper. I always say I'm an RVer. Sean, I haven't been in a tent since I was a teenager. And it was the last time I went tent camping. It was such a horrible experience. I've never done it since. It was just, I'm not made for roughing it, I guess. I don't know. I know other people would look at like Sabrina's and I's lives and say, man, you live in a motorhome. That's got to be rough. And it's not. To me, tent camping is rough. I went with my buddies. We were all probably 21. No, we weren't even drinking yet. So we were under 21. We went to Shenandoah Mountains in a tent for 7 days. We had a couple tents set up. We ran out of food within like day number 3. We ran out of money by day number 4. We were all hungry. It started raining on day number 4 and didn't stop raining until we left. It was just sucked. Sucked.
So Terry also mentioned, this is something we probably should look into, Kenny, that he has those red Anderson tubs that you put under your leveling jacks. I don't know if you've ever seen them.
Yes. Nope. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
And he said that he contacted SnapPads and they aren't compatible with those Anderson tubs. So
I wonder why.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too.
Is the footprint of the top of the tub not wide enough to maybe SnapPad wants it to cover edge to edge?
Edge to edge, maybe,
and because of the SnapPad being so wide, maybe it overhangs off the edges.
Yeah.
Is the only thing I could think of.
Maybe. But SnapPad is working on a solution of their own, I think.
They are. Yeah. I'm not sure if they've released any information or if we're allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll
just say that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, is that they would like that bucket to be wide enough to support evenly across the entire pad, and not, I would imagine what they're afraid of is by not being able to support it all the way across, if somebody would be like, oh, this is close enough, and get it to one edge, but not the other edge, and it slips off. That's what
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think it would technically in the real world be fine, but maybe for liability and lawsuit reasons, maybe not be fine.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works. I would think anyway.
So then you found some other interesting news related to the COVID vaccine.
Yeah. So just like, and then Sean and I were talking about this a little earlier. So just like COVID has boosted RV sales and people are like scrambling to buy RVs and everything's on a waiting list. Once the news of a vaccine, so you got the COVID disease is increasing the sales. This new vaccine, which could, I guess, be looked at as somewhat of a cure, is starting to decrease projected sales. So it's not affecting actual sales yet, but investors are starting to back away from some outdoor camping and recreational vehicle boating stocks since Pfizer announced the 90% efficiency of its COVID-19 vaccine. So it got investors thinking, oh, well, once this vaccine comes out and it gets more widespread and people don't have the symptoms and things are getting closer to normal, then people won't need to use the RVs as much. So people have been using the RVs because it's a great way to social distance. They've even been putting them in their driveways and using it as a off home type of situation for anybody that's like in the medical field. They can stay in the RV. They have their own shower, bathroom, stuff like that, use it for office space, and they're keeping separated from their families. They're also finding, they found out that, oh, well, RVing is a great way to travel and be self-contained in their own little bubble, in a sense, not go into hotels, so they're in their own, it's been a great way for people to social distance. So, excuse me.
I do think, Kenny, that the, before COVID happened, they were expecting a pullback in the RV industry because it had been booming for so long.
Yeah.
So it's probably due for some sort of pullback. I did a little research today, and like in the article you read, it said Camping World holding stock was down 15.55% after the news of the vaccine came out. But for the year, they're up over 130%. So, they're doing pretty well.
Yeah. So even
Winnebago, I read an article about Winnebago, and they've also been doing very well this year. But they're basically working off of a 2016 strategic plan that they developed.
That's
so crazy. It may not all be COVID, I guess. And then you have people like Tom Green, who we talked about, and Matthew McConaughey, who's traveling in his Airstream, and there's a lot of attention being paid to the RV industry. And then with record sales this year, I think places like Camping World, which is kind of like the Walmart of the RV community, is, they're going to see that the benefits of that for a long time, because people are always going to need stuff.
Okay.
And maintenance.
Yeah.
But I could see the manufacturers slowing down at some point, because how long can you go with this kind of growth?
Yeah. And then, like you said too, it was before COVID hit, it was projected the RV industry was supposed to take a dive this year, and then it just flipped because of COVID. It didn't take the dive. It didn't, in fact, increase, because like you said, we were on the RV industry was on such a high. I think it was like a 3-year high or something like that. This was supposed to be the year that it just tanked for everybody.
Yeah.
But
then the hotel industry, they're not predicting coming back to pre-COVID levels until 2023. So that gives a little more room for RVs.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I would think so too. Yeah, I kind of picture hotels and RVing on a seesaw, I think. Like if RVing is doing great, then hotels probably aren't. And then if people are like slowly getting back into the idea that the hotel is safe, then the RVing will, I picture them like teetering over each other in a sense, I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm glad you think so.
So I'm curious what people think about RV growth over the next handful of months, I guess.
Yeah. And I see Tom wrote that he just did a cross-country trip back and forth, and he was noticing that the RV dealerships have ample stock. And I do see that. Sabrina and I are in the middle of traveling right now. And when we do pass RV dealerships, they do have RVs in stock. I don't know if they're all sold and sitting there, or, you know, how many of them are spoken for or anything like that. Or if maybe they're just not the RVs that people are looking for. But every time I'm on like a forum or something like that, somebody says, hey, I'm looking to buy such and such. I went to my RV dealer and they said that I won't be able to pick it up until April of 2021 or June of 2021. I'm like, wow, people are waiting a long time. I guess that's if you want something maybe Pacific, you know,
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
particular,
you want particular
but
floor plan or
maybe something like that. And that's where situations like that are happening. I think that was all of our news and stuff like that. But coming up for December, we got 2 great episodes. We got a company called H3R Fire Extinguishers, and that was with Chris, the vice president of H3R. And I really enjoyed that episode because of how much I learned while talking to Chris. And I think Chris, I said this to Sean before, was very modest about their product, even though they have a great product. I mean, he kind of wrapped up the whole discussion with, you know, if you buy our product or anybody's fire extinguisher, I just want people to know just how important having the fire extinguisher is in your vehicle, whether that be an RV or car. He's like, even if you don't buy ours, I think it's very important that you have a fire extinguisher. But I really enjoyed hearing about, he talked about the maintenance of fire extinguishers, which you and I really don't do much about. We didn't even think about it, to be honest with you. And you should be checking these fire extinguishers out. He talked about their construction, how it's all metal with aluminum. The only thing plastic on it is gauges. It was just a really good interview, and I really enjoyed talking with Chris. He was
a
really
lot of
nice
detail,
guy. A lot of detail.
Yeah.
So that's a really good episode coming up. That'll be December 10th, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, look at me. And then
or is it the 10th or the 7th? One of those days. You're close.
I'm very close. And then after that, for December, we also talked to Keith from Clear 2O. He's the CEO of Clear 2O. Sean and I both have the Clear 2O Dirt Guard and really like it. And that's what he was on talking about before. This is where I always say that this show costs us money because we talk to these people and then we go out and we buy their products. But we really like it. The water tastes better. It looks cleaner. So my gauge is Sabrina. So I hooked it all up. Sabrina tried the water and she's like, this is great. So she's a tough critic.
Yeah. And I had that big 3-stage system that I built myself when we first started. And it just becomes a hassle hooking that thing up all the time. So we got the Dirt Guard and I didn't see any difference in the water. So
good.
It's now our replacement for that big canister system we had.
And I know we're talking about the Dirt Guard, but actually Keith is on the show talking about a new product this time around, which is a personal filter. How do you? That's exactly what it is, right? It's just a personal filter, personal water filter. So you can take it hiking and throw it in your backpack. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and then you're drinking out of puddles. Now we talk a little bit. We go into a little bit of detail of what you can where you can't drink. But again, it's another great product from Clear 2O, and he's a great person to have on the show too, because again, you know, we really like, you know, just like Chris as vice president and Keith here as CEO, we really like talking to these people because they know the company so well and they're able to answer all of our questions and get us the answers. So that'll be the second episode for the month, and that will really be all of December. We just got the 2 episodes coming out because of the way the dates are working out, but I think that's it, Sean.
I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. And then before we do our next episode with just the 2 of us, we're also going to have air skirts on in January, the first week of January 7th. So December 10th, you were right, Kenny. And
Yes.
January 7th, that one will be out. And that was another interesting one.
That was really
and
good.
again, another full-time RVer that came up with an idea, built it for himself, and then started marketing it. So very interesting to hear that story.
Yeah.
And then just a couple questions. Terry had sent me information for the RV air conditioning product, and I have not been able to get in touch with those people, Terry. So if you could send me that number again, I could probably reach out to them again. And then he asked if there was any comparison to the Berkey water filter. And I've never used a Berkey water filter, Kenny. I don't know if you have either.
I haven't either. So I think the Berkey isn't something that's like a inline
No,
system.
it's you actually pour water into
fill
it.
it. Yeah. I've never used it. I'm sorry. I wish. So I know Joe and Kate Russo have, and they really like it, but that's about as far as anything I know about it. Unfortunately, I don't.
I think the people are kind of like it's got like a cult following, kind of like the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
People that have Berkeys, like they'll only go with Berkeys. So they must be good products, but I don't know how they compare with like the Dirt Guard or.
Yeah. I've never heard anything bad about the Berkey. So
me neither.
I mean, no. I always take that as a very good positive because people are always quick to tell you something. People like talking about the bad stuff. So the fact that I've never heard anything bad about it, I think says pretty good things about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for joining us, those that joined us live. And like I said, we're going to do more of these, and all of our Drivers Edition episodes will be live from now on. And we're trying to get some guests to come on live as well, so we can have more interaction with the listeners while the guest is actually on. So we appreciate you tuning in, and have a safe and happy holiday season. Hopefully 2021 is much better than 2020 was. So unless you're an RV manufacturer, 2020 is pretty crappy. So yeah, enjoy the holidays, and let's hope for a better 2021, and safe travels, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening.